And and speaking of that, what's going on? Because a lot of people is out of the loop now. What's going on with the trial and all that? Like, can you catch us and the people out in the internet world? What's
There's no trial date. It's simple.
Oh, okay.
No trial date.
Yeah.
We have a there was a charge.
Okay.
There was an indictment from a grand jury, but due to COVID, all of that has been pushed back. Do we know when was going to happen? No, we don't.
So what was all of this? I'm like you. I work full time, so I be catching stuff, little bits and pieces. So was it something on the news that he got a day? Like I'm so confused. What was all of that?
Probably on social media. What was, the notion? The judge made a statement.
Okay.
That there will be a late trial in late August. But as you can see, this is July 22nd.
Cause we in late July.
Mm-hmm. And we already had the last docket before the trial date. So if we were going to have a trial in late August, we would have had a date that day. So we didn't get a date that day, and basically we're not going to get a date anytime soon because of the that's their excuse. They're going to blame it on the pandemic. Not only we've learned a lot, not only pandemic, but that's why it's necessary to, not judge, but necessary to vote locally, because the judges really have the final say, so it's their courtroom. So it's like it's their house, so it's their house rules. So he's able to do what it is that he wants to do per state. He was saying per state. Because of the pandemic, he's decided their caseloads are so high, they want to minimize them. Once they minimize those, then we can consider talking about a trial date. But
in your honest opinion, what's going on? What do you honestly feel like the reason behind this? Because I feel like it's just completely utterly bullshit.
I really believe they just want people to forget about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They don't want it to be
because people have.
Yes.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Especially with all the other trials in other states being actively and completed, and those tragedies happened after Tatiana.
And this just showing how Tarrant County is really ran. Like this, I don't even know the words, but it's fucked up. It's really fucked up how Tarrant County is dragging their foot. Fort Worth, Tarrant County, they're all the fucking same to me. How they fucking around with this shit and not having no sense of fucking urgency.
There's no sense of urgency
Because
whatsoever.
it's a black life, and if it's not another black life being locked up behind it, they not worried about that. Because at the end of the day, overall, it's somebody that don't look like us. That's on the other side. That's my personal feeling regarding it. And he's also not only a white life, but he's what they separate themselves. They put their black badge on. He's a blue life. So on top of that, that's where he's because I feel like he's being, and I'm sure y'all can agree, he's being protected. I mean, because damn COVID.
Texas been open. Texas one of the states
we done
been
got back
open
to
first.
everything else. We can get back to that. We done got back. So that's telling you that's not a real. That's not an excuse. It's what they're using, but we know that's not the reason.
Did you guys know that if you're out on bond, your case is not priority?
Wow, I did not know that.
Your priority goes towards people who are currently incarcerated. So if you have people that are in jail right now, you should get them out. Because that's how the rules go.
That's good to know. When my daughter's dad was in jail when he was awaiting trial, which it didn't go to trial, but it took them like 2 years. But that was my daughter. She was a baby then. She's 13 now. But so I know how Tarrant County can drag. How good Tarrant County can drag their feet. So I was going to that Tarrant County jail every Sunday for 2 years. So.
But that's the thing, he was incarcerated.
Yeah, and then and the thing about it is, well, I'm just, he was still. I don't know if that's how it was done in, but he was still, maybe priority of people who were out on bond.
And the 2 years was priority.
And that was slow.
Yeah.
I was very slow to get an answer about how we gonna move,
Yeah.
And that's crazy. Like something like this is what we would consider high profile, and they still
Every
taking their
case is the
time.
same. Every case is the same. What may be urgent and
important.
sensitive to you is not the same with others. These are
They
things
have a
that
lot
we're
of
learning.
cases. And what we're telling y'all is what is
what they
being
telling
told
to
to
y'all.
us.
Yeah.
We're not the only case, Amber and Ashley. Y'all are not the only case. Aaron Dean is not the only case. Y'all need to wait y'all turn.
I bet he's the only officer, police.
Y'all gotta wait y'all turn.
we ain't heard about no other cops.
So I feel like me ask you this then, like in your honest opinion, like people that's the supporters, the people in the community, like what do you feel like you need from us that can help? Like, have you ever thought about like, okay, maybe this can be done to help speed up the process? Or do
Yeah,
something?
you think of a lot of things, but once you go into that DA office and you start seeing the real, you like, there's really
This is Texas, y'all. This is Texas.
nothing. You can do all the call of actions. Call this number. Request this. Tell them now. Get a trial date now. No, yeah.
So you feel like
It's a waste of time.
you feel like it's the DA Sharon Wilson that's the problem, not
No,
her,
she doesn't have any pull.
and pull up with this.
I feel like she may have a small,
And that's what we need to know.
but the way they give it off, that they have no, they can't do anything.
Somebody can do something.
From the
I feel like
assistant
somebody
to
can
the
make and
DA,
shake
the
some.
assistant, nobody.
Let me ask you this, just because I'm trying to feel as we talk,
And
try to
you
figure out.
sound just like me. You remember the last time I was like, damn, I watch TV. He was like, Amber, come on, that's television. I'm like, no, but it just.
It's just like it's gotta be somebody
Somebody.
that can make it shake.
It gotta
But
be.
you don't want to influence the judge
No, you don't want to influence anyone.
because that will be
You run a
used for evidence as change of venue.
And we don't want that.
We don't want
and they
that.
keep saying that to us. Like even with the protest,
They don't want those.
they really don't want those. And the other lawyer
Well, based off
can
of
request.
based off of the news, we don't know anything personally or anything, but we see the same news reports that everyone else sees, and based off of that, it was said that files were requested. Camera was requested from protest
From the other party.
for Atatiana.
From the defendant's
Right.
lawyer, and they were requesting video footage. And I was like, well, why would they request that? It's so that they can have some type of evidence to
When
request venue change. And why would you want a venue change? Why would you want to change where it happened?
to stall more as well.
It's been a lot of stalling.
Yeah, even though they tell us all the time, well, you don't really have to worry too much because Tarrant County haven't had a venue change and yada, yada, yada. But the way my life has been set up, let me tell you, it'll be
Everything you can think could go wrong, and will go wrong. So
they'll
we're
be like, oh yeah, we ain't had that since 1840, and then here,
history
boom.
history making.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be honest. I feel helpless. Like
No.
I feel like we.
welcome to the club.
Well,
Yeah.
yes. Pull
Like-
up a
I'm out on
seat.
that, but-
Yes.
Yeah.
Like I feel like we should be doing something,
Yeah, but what can
but
we do?
but we
we
don't.
do?
But what can we do?
don't know what to do.
Who to do it to? Because you don't want to do something that's overall fuck up the shit too.
Definitely.
Right.
Yeah. So it's crazy, but I know, and it's somebody that can be reached, that can make something shake. You know, I think they just say, hey, this person can't do it when that person may be actually able to do something. So it's a lot of games. I feel like there's a lot of games, a lot of
Throwing
lies.
rocks and hiding hands.
Yeah, a lot of that going on right now.
You know what you can do though?
Mm-hmm.
You can just keep raising awareness of how great Atatiana was.
Okay.
But maybe, you know, that should be our mindset of, you know, uplifting all the positive, and making that positive noise so loud that no one can hear it. That's our goal.
Okay.
You know, it's all about how you see things. And you can't always skin the cat. Sometimes you always want to go in and fight them, you know, and, you know, and that's, although that's always sometimes the easier way to handle things in some way like that, but sometimes that's not the right way to handle things. And we always want to make sure that everyone understand, as Amber say, Tatiana was a goddess. One of her names, my brother said, one of the last times he was playing video games with my sister, her video tagline name was Black Goddess of the Hood. So when you have royalty in your presence, or when you lose royalty, you want to keep making sure you talk about her. You know, like Princess Di. When we hear about Princess Di, she had some turmoil in her life, but all you talk about is the greatness that she did, and how wonderful she was, and how many people she touched. And so that's what we're going to do for Atatiana. That's what everybody that's hearing this voice or watching this, you know, online, that's what everyone needs to do, is to raise awareness of Atatiana,